Hey, ¿qué pasa, bandita? Soy el gato con mostacho o Gato Plays y estamos ahora mismo reaccionando a Batman vs Iron Man. Por fin regresó Dead Barrel, estamos un poco nerviosos. La mayoría de aquí le va a Iron Man, incluyéndome. Y vamos a ver qué nos espera en este episodio. Que por fin salió ya después de tantos meses. Vamos a estar seguido. Oh, sí. Creo que no se está viendo a 1080, ¿ve? A ver si se corrige ahorita. Oh, Batman. Ok. Creo que ahí se escucha bien, ¿verdad? Manden Gato Clown si se escucha bien, porfa. Pelea de billetazos a huevo. Pelea de billetazos. Ok. Se viene, banda, se viene, ¿eh? Se viene.
In case you're one of the many psycho supervillains stalking the streets of Gotham City, I would make peace with whatever god you pray to, because they won't save you from the goddamn Batman.
Qué badass es Batman, ¿eh? No tengo nada en contra de él, pero no creo que gane. No creo que gane.
Until Mommy and Daddy got 360 no-scope, leaving Bruce with a void inside him that could only be filled by the never-ending
Pobre Bruce, güey. O Bruno.
and vengeance.
Como le dice la chaviza.
Bruce Wayne died and the Batman was born. He would devote his life to perfecting his body and mind to become more than human. He would transcend his own mortality into legend, a nightmare to haunt evildoers till the end of time.
Oh, esta escena está chingona. Ok, esto es lo que ya vimos en el sneak peek, güey. X, ¿no? Ya hemos visto la historia de Batman 1000 veces, güey. 1000 veces. Sí, güey. Le ganaste al Sherlock Holmes.
Or the time he found a dead body with no entry or exit wound and a 40-year-old bullet nearby, and somehow determined it must have been fired backwards in time.
Está bien fumado, güey. Está bien fumado. Pero bueno, cómics X.
And Ninja,
one of Batman's assets, stands above them all.
El bati trasero. Ah, no, los batibilletes. No mames, la Final Batsuite. No. No mames, la Final Batsuite. Ahí estaba, güey. Sí la contaron, ¿eh? Sí la contaron. Verga. Voy a poner el chat por aquí. Verga, voy a contar en la Final Suite.
And Batman's knack for schemes and preparation skyrocketed to match, turning him into the Bat God we all know and mean. Like the time he developed a backup personality.
Están hablando del Batman plan.
Functions as Batman in case of a psychological attack that drove him mad.
¿Dónde está mi plan?
Human operating system.
A la verga.
A computer, but it's his brain.
He even has plans tailored to his teammates' weaknesses should they ever.
Gracias por el follow.
He's developed contingencies for everything, which is why Bats comes prepared with extra suits for any occasion.
Like his Nightfall exosuit to battle Bane, or the Justice Buster, which is obviously designed to combat the Justice League. He even got a final
El Final Batsuite.
fifth-dimensional self that can rewrite your mind.
But my favorite is his
¿Qué? ¿Qué es eso?
after getting weird magneto powers. They just made his suit look like this for some reason. There's also rainbow Batman suits, the suit of sorrows, and
¿Por qué
of
mierda
course,
está
the
así?
bat nipples. Chicks dig the
Batman
bat nipples.
Cum. No
All
puedo
paid
creerlo.
for with the Bat credit
Era
card.
real.
Never leave the cave without it.
But perhaps his greatest suit of armor, the one designed to put him on the same level of insane mind-bending power as his league teammates, is the Hellbat.
AKA
Hellbat.
the coolest looking thing ever invented.
Ok.
Forged by Superman in the heart of the sun, each member of the Justice League contributed to this monstrous mech's abilities.
Están poniendo el Hellbat como el más mamado,
That is absolutely hardcore.
Made of nanokinetic mesh, it can shapeshift
Le están poniendo como el más mamado.
and operates
Por
via
cierto.
telepathic link.
It can fly, turn invisible,
Ok.
and
Creí
fire
que
a
se escuchaba algo.
chest laser. And by diverting all the suit's power into his fists, he can use the Devastator, a punch powered by Wonder Woman's strength. And she's strong enough to yank the friggin' Earth around.
Ok, no muy impresionante.
Which he has given himself to save all of Gotham City on at least one occasion. It's that level of insane drive that pushed him to use the Hellbat in his one-man invasion of Apocalypse in order to bring his son back to life.
Ah, Simón, cuando secuestraron a su hijo.
The god of evil himself, Darkseid. Batman stared down the final boss of DC Comics and actually kicked his ass.
This is
Ok, pero era un avatar, no se olviden de eso.
Strong enough to destroy entire universes and fast enough to fly to the edge of the universe in seconds.
Bueno, sí es cierto.
Universe is significantly larger than our own. That would be over 600
Simón, es muy rápido el Batman, ¿eh? Es más rápido que Tony, se lo voy adelantando. ¿Le van a dar multi?
But this incalculable strength is drawn from Batman's own life force. Specifically,
¿Le van a dar multi al Hellbat?
Should any fight with the Hellbat go on too long, Batman may succumb to its hunger before finishing the fight himself. Or absorb someone else's biomass for fuel. That works too.
So basically, you'd have to be completely batshit insane to pilot this thing. And
¿Qué mierda con eso?
Yeah, sorry to break it to you, but the grown man that wears his underwear on the outside isn't all there.
In keeping with being a perfectionist, though, he's completely aware of this. That's why he does not kill. Because if he did, he understands that he can't trust himself to know when to stop.
Sí, pero eso no importa aquí. Se convirtió en el dios del conocimiento.
No, wait, that one's not canon.
Yeah, gracias.
Technically had help. Yeah, that one.
Although many of his greatest accomplishments have been aided by his exceptional prep work and foreknowledge, he's no stranger to spot, even in the
Ojito con Batman, ¿eh?
Who else would kick the
Poca broma.
the angel of wrath, God's divine judgment, in the face, and then tell him to get the hell out of his city?
I'll tell you who.
Está loco el Batman.
Batman.
No.
Think I haven't planned for this?
Toma agüita. Ok.
You would be forgiven for doubting the destiny
Ok.
of genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, Tony Stark.
Yeah, cause you can add massive prick to that list too.
Poca broma el Batman, ¿eh? Que sí está mamado.
Leaving the mind-bogglingly brilliant prodigy to inherit a multi-billion-dollar tech company.
With mommy and daddy's purse strings.
Ahora sí sigue el Tony, güey, a ver qué onda. Entrenado por el Cap, Black Widow y Shang-Chi, Simón. Sigue siendo peor en ese aspecto que Batman, pero bueno. Ahora sí vamos a ver las armaduras de Tony, güey, que en teoría son más fuertes que las de Batman, ¿eh? Saludos, Jun Sánchez. Pongan ACDC para el Tony, güey. Ah, huevo. Ok, ok. Lo típico, ¿no? Lo típico. Simón. Ahí está. Manda rolas para el Tony. ¿Tengo miedo de banda? Me pusieron muy mamado el Batman.
Most of his armors come with the same basic toolkit: super strength, massively hypersonic flight, and repulsor blast.
Repulsors are extremely dense beams of muons, unstable subatomic particles similar to electrons. They're actually really interesting. See, they're classified as leptons, which don't have any known substructures. Just sort of like...
It's a laser!
Yeah, huevo, es un láser.
His armors also come with onboard AI, like
Ajá.
which can hack
Viernes, Simón.
command his other suits to fight remotely, and operate down to the picosecond. That's
Bien.
1/trillionth of a second.
Even outdated armors are strong enough to blow up a chunk of rock as big as Manhattan.
Simón, eso le haga como un país grande.
Armor would have had to be hidden with an energy of nearly 300 teratons of TNT. That's 3 times stronger than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Years spent defending the Earth has conditioned Tony to be prepared for any threat imaginable, and he has an armor for almost any occasion.
He's got an armor to bust Hulks,
La Phoenix Buster,
Thors, an armor that can turn
Metal
into
Armor.
a super tiny armor that
Ok,
can
la
turn
God
inside,
Buster.
and an armor made of white sticky alien goo. Definitely not legal in all 50 states.
Todo piola, ¿no? Todo piola de
In
momento.
order to remain as flexible as possible, though, his standard go-to is the
Creo que van a comparar
Modern Line.
Ghostbuster
It has all the
con
classic Iron Man staples,
Final
and it's
Suit.
even incorporated size changing for extra strength, an invisible stealth mode,
Ok.
And a badass lightning samurai sword.
A huevo. A huevo.
But he's definitely got style and crippling alcoholism. But look who's talking.
It was more than likely that same devil-may-care attitude that led to Tony revealing his secret identity to the world, which I guess had no consequences.
Pues
Look,
supongo.
Wiz, can you build a space laser strong enough to wipe out alien fleets in one shot? I don't think the Mandarin is going to interrupt your shawarma lunch date.
Sí, es cierto. Yo no me metería en pedos con Tony, güey.
A speculative superstructure that is meant to encircle an entire star and harness its energy.
Por cierto, creo que a Batman no le contaron la bala pedorra, así que todo piola.
To civilization on the Kardashev scale.
It's basically when you're galaxy-brained enough to draw power from the entire solar system.
I know it's
Okay.
cons, but the fact that Tony just has one of these lying around is insane. Known as Soul's Hammer, Tony's incomplete sphere is strong enough to destroy a planet at only a 2% charge.
Ok.
Do you work on one of those? I remember you talking about how it solves
Sí, es sin ser la gran cosa.
problems once and for all.
On behalf of the families of several planets that no longer exist, I'm not legally at liberty to discuss that.
Years of protecting the world from aliens, gods, and even his friends.
Ok,
All of that
se viene lo
stuff
chido, se viene lo
Tony
chido.
down and turned him into the one thing he promised himself he would never become. A narc.
Siding with the U.S. government's enforcement of the Superhuman Registration Act led to a
Ojo el
literal
Sentry.
civil war between superheroes. It wouldn't be his last.
Y pasó dos veces, sí.
He could hang with the best of them. He's beaten Captain America in hand-to-hand combat,
Okay.
survived blows from Thor, and even took down the Worldbreaker Hulk.
He even
Okay.
matched Magneto. Magneto, the guy that controls metal, the thing that surrounds
Simon.
Tony's entire body by amplifying his power with Jupiter's magnetic field.
And then Max punched him with the power of the sun, and it was like, no big deal. There really doesn't seem to be a limit to how insane Tony's tech gets. In the movies, this is the same
Hizo
guy
sangrar a
who figured
Sentry,
out
decía.
time travel just
También.
sitting around one evening. In the time it takes me to down a beer, Tony's already shattered the laws of physics. Yeah, sure. Go to the Middle Ages and play nice.
¿Era una máquina del tiempo?
Doom, you
Ojo, Time,
The
huh?
greatest invention of all, however, was the E-scape, an entire virtual universe where the only limit is his imagination.
And because Tony's nothing if not predictable, he made an armor out of it.
¿Qué está pasando?
He made an armor out of a universe.
This virtual armor is composed of solid holograms that can form any weapon Tony can think of. But even it likely cannot compare to the armor
¿Como un linterna
Tony
verde o
created
qué?
inside the E-scape, the Godbuster.
Ok, la Godbuster.
Literally Iron Man going Super Saiyan. The Godbuster was so powerful it destroyed the entire E-scape in a single blast, along with the AI controlling all of
O
it.
van a comparar Godbuster con Hellbat.
The Godbuster was able to stand up to Celestials, cosmic gods that can warp reality, like Galactus, Odin, and Franklin, who can threaten
Okay.
the multiverse with their power.
A huevo, a huevo.
Up to the friggin' name in case you were wondering. But it isn't that kind of power that makes Tony special. After a life spent wallowing in vice and pleasure, Tony rebuilt himself into a man he could be proud of. Someone who
Aw.
could sacrifice everything to save the world.
I suppose underneath it all, that
Se viene la pelea, banda.
had a heart of gold.
You want my property, you can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
Se viene la pelea.
Quebec's are set, and we've run the data
Okay.
through all possibilities.
It's
So,
time
for a tap
death
battle. Bien, banda. A ver, repasando. Creo que van a comparar Godbuster contra Hellbat. Tiene la Final Suit que también puede. Tiene como Reality Warping, que puede manipular la realidad. Ya dijeron que Tony se ha enfrentado a seres que también pueden hacer lo mismo. Sigo creyendo que Tony es más fuerte con sus armaduras. Voy a seguir con él, voy a seguir con Tony. No le dieron la bala pedorra a Batman. Así que en teoría va a ganar Tony, ¿eh? En teoría va a ganar Tony. Vamos a ver, eso es lo que espero. Espero no equivocarme y vamos. ¡Ah! Se viene, banda, se viene. Ay, güey.
Hey, Bat.
¿Qué no, mi Bats?
I can respect a man with a healthy sense of paranoia and
Qué miedo tengo,
despair, but
Uy.
Steve and Nat are really up my ass about this. Take the watchtower offline now.
Bruce, ok.
Want this fight, Tony. It'll be the biggest mistake of your life.
Qué buena rola, güey. Qué buena rola,
Tower is being attacked.
Ok. Eso ya lo vimos en la preview.
About hacking in the second grade.
Vamos piola, vamos piola.
Here, aside from
Es viernes de Ocarrocas. Oh, qué buena rola, güey. Qué buena rola.
really, Bruce? This stick? I thought we were grown-ups here.
Y ahora sí empieza lo bueno, banda. ¡Ah! Me están sonando las manos. Uy, qué buen vergazo. ¡Ey, la rola!
Pulse hammer online process.
Nah, güey, la rola, qué pedo.
I'll try to.
Oh, la verga. Le lanzó la atalaya. Ah, pues le valió verga la atalaya, güey. Qué pedo. Ok, ya se fueron a la ciudad. Ah, ya volvió la rola, huevo.
Respect. I am Batman.
Uy, la bat. Ah. Era un bot.
Am iron.
Ah, huevo. Hora de la fiesta, pa.
Everything, bats.
Ah, huevo.
Busting wannabe gods like you.
Ok. Ahí está la War Machine también. Ok, vamos, Tony.
Bust this.
Boss this. A la virgen. ¿Tony? Acá el símbolo de Batman. Oh. ¿Ya rompió? A huevo, la virtual.
Had to divert some power to hacking that suit. Like I said, second grade.
La hackeó.
Friday, fire the hammer.
La hackeó. ¿Lol? Oh, ¿se va a poner la faina? ¿O qué pedo? Oh, mierda.
Tony. Just you and me. Man to man.
Oh.
Well, man to genius billionaire playboy.
Uy. Lo cortó media parte. Ay, lol. Las 100 armaduras no, Tony.
Just one more.
A huevo. ¿Vamos?
Model 58, the nano armor. Snuck it into your body back on the watchtower. Friday, initiate self-destruct.
A huevo, a huevo. ¡A huevo! ¡A huevo!
Friday, I could really use a drink.
Sí, ya, ¿verdad? ¡A huevo! Oye, estuvo un poco corta, ¿no?
You know, if they fought naked, Batman would have beat the shit out of him.
Estuvo un poco corta, ¿no?
Defined by his tenacity, preparedness, and utter genius, so is Tony Stark. So neither could rely
A
on
huevo que ganó, güey. A huevo que ganó.
And it shouldn't come as a surprise.
Chúpenme la gente del blog.
Batsuit couldn't quite hold up to the firepower of even the most basic Iron Man armors. The Batsuit is surprisingly tough, sure, but it isn't taking hits from a dude that can punch apart Manhattan.
Simón, en base lo destruía al Batman, güey.
Gadgets, Iron Man's armors were way more varied and powerful. With so many unique and often alien abilities, there was no way Bats could predict all of them.
Ok.
With time, he could certainly figure out a plan of attack, but since Tony is just as much a genius schemer as Batman, he could do the same.
There
Simón,
are lots of
ok.
cases where he would have won, especially with his ace in the hole. The
Simón, la Justice Buster fue diseñada para la Justice League.
Absolutely dwarfed the majority of Iron Man's
No le iba a servir mucho.
Killed him immediately were it not for Tony's own trump cards.
like the Godbuster, which was definitely strong enough to contend with it.
Uh-huh.
Bat could take on Darkseid, but a weaker version of the Godbuster could hold its own against Celestial.
A huevo, a huevo.
Darkseid was a being capable of threatening the multiverse with his power and moving many times faster than light, but the Celestials were capable of the same.
A huevo, a huevo.
Strong, Tony could buy himself enough time to break out all his other tricks, like sneaking nano armors into Batman's body, phasing through it.
Ok,
with
eso estuvo bueno al
breaking
final.
the Hellbat's power, or just hacking his suit and shutting it off.
And with an army of armors at his beck and call, Tony could certainly hold Batman off long enough to employ those strategies. Hell, since he can control them remotely, he technically didn't even need to be there and put himself in harm's way.
Ajá.
Remember, the Hellbat used Batman's own life force as a battery. He needed to end the fight quick.
Simón tiene tiempo limitado además.
With Tony throwing an army at him, he didn't have a good way of doing that. Tony just had way too much shit to throw at Batman, while Batman didn't have the time or options he needed to keep up.
Batman may have been a god
A huevo.
of men.
Next time, se viene Next Time. Yo creo que va a ser Akuma o Korra. Apuesta más por Akuma que por Korra.
Allowed him to crush the Cape Crusader.
You might think it's an injustice that Batman's gonna need avenging, but Iron Man was in a whole nother league.
The winner is Iron Man.
Ok. Ganó Iron Man, obviamente.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that episode.
Se viene
If you're
next
looking for
time.
Something else to watch. We just released a brand new show called Last Laugh on Rooster Teeth. It's all about people trying to make each other laugh and everybody.
Dame algo bueno, güey. Dame algo
Check
bueno.
it out by clicking
No me des
the box below
mamadas.
me. Thanks.
No, Reverse Flash versus Black Goku, ¿en serio? Bueno. Güey, 2 DC seguidos, ¿qué pedo? Bueno, sé que mucha gente lo espera. Yo personalmente me vale un poco de verga. Pero bueno. Felicidades a los que lo querían. Está chido, supongo. Tiene potencial de animación. Y bueno, banda ganó Tony. A huevo que sí. Voy a poner ahorita el chat para que todos lo vean. Vamos, para que todos escriban. Fui Gato Plays. Recuerden darle like, suscribirse y nos vemos en la siguiente reacción. Chau, chau, chau.